What's up, guys? So I'm currently just laying in bed and I wanted to update you. So today I cleaned my kitchen and I did some a little bit of I went to work. So my first day back to work, to driving, which has been really fun, and actually I liked going back to work because it means that I'm making some kind of paycheck. But so it's been nice, and I also work for a school board that I absolutely love working for, so that's kind of a bonus. So it's been nice. I went back to work after being sick and in the hospital for a week. I was hospitalized for 2 nights, and then I spent a day, pretty much just about a whole day, in the hospital. So I went in at like 5 o'clock at night, no, 9 o'clock at night, with a fever of 40, and I was barely even able to make it to the hospital. Somebody had to come with a wheelchair and help me to the emergency room from like the front entrance area, like the front of the hospital, because my fever was so bad and I could barely walk, but I managed to walk to the hospital, and then I called and I asked for somebody to come and help me because I couldn't walk any further and I was feeling really lethargic and ready to pass out, and vomiting and everything. So it wasn't a fun journey, but I got placed on an IV, and it took 3 days just to bring my fever down before I could be released from the hospital. So that was a experience that I haven't really gone through in a while. I haven't had a fever that bad in, I think, years, since I was a kid. But yeah, so today I just cleaned all my hamster cages. I went live on TikTok and I cleaned the hamster cages, and I did some dishes. My dishes situation with that is I have cupboard space, but not enough cupboard space, so I just basically leave my dishes in the sink, clean or dirty. Well, not really dirty, but like, I got into the habit. So when I lived with my dad, he used to rinse the dishes, and like basically as if you're putting clean dishes in the sink. So you would rinse your dish to that point and leave it in the sink, and I just got into the habit of doing that. So I do that to this day still, until my sink is full or I run out of dishes completely. So my hamsters are very happy, and they're all running on their wheel tonight, so it might be a little bit hard to fall asleep, but I'm gonna put music on and that usually quiets them down. But yeah, we did all the cages, gave them all clean cages, washed them and everything, gave them fresh food and water, and took care of that. My guinea pigs are still awake. They'll go to sleep once I fall asleep. They fall asleep usually, but I had to give her fresh water and some hay. I'm almost out of hay, which I have never been into a position where I would almost out of hay in a month. Usually my guinea pigs can eat a 90-pound bag of food, like a 90-liter bag of hay. Usually that lasts me 2 months, but this month, I don't know what it is, but they were hungry. Like, they ate that whole bag in a month, and even though there's 2 of them, I did at one point separate them, so I was kind of portioning 2 instead of just for 1. But now that they're back in the same cage, so Evie, my black and white guinea pig, got she was like so anxious, and like she's just been really fussy, I guess you would say. Like, I don't know what it was, but when she was by herself, she hated it. And so I put her back in the cage with Cammy, and now I have both of them back in the same cage. And she's been doing better. She's eating. Cammy is loving the company. Like, she loves the fact that Evie is in the same cage as her. And Eve just, I don't know, she had like anxiety or something. And I would put their cages next to each other so they could see each other, but they wanted to be physically like touching each other. So I ended up putting them in the same cage again and just kind of keeping an eye on them. With that being said, Evie has become so loving, and she's finally gotten used to me petting her, picking her up, and she's letting me pick her up now, and she doesn't like squeal or anything. And I feel like since the people upstairs moved out, the animals are a lot less stressed. Just like myself, like I'm a lot less stressed, and my animals are not as stressed either. And I can see that because my guinea pigs run around like no tomorrow for hours, and then they get tired out and go to sleep. So whereas before they weren't doing that, they would run around for like 10 minutes and that's it. But now they run around for hours, and they have so much energy, and I love it because I know that they're happy and there's no noise upstairs. So it's peaceful, and it's peaceful during the day for them as well. My hamsters are quiet. They've always been quiet, but they are more active on their wheels now. So as you heard earlier, like when I first started the video, they were on their wheel, and that was all 5 of them on their wheels. So the noise level gets a little bit loud, but I love it because the hamsters will get going, and then the guinea pigs, I'll start to hear them like squeaking, kind of talking to each other, like their little sounds that they make, which is so cute because my guinea pigs are not loud at all. Like I can fall asleep between the two types of animals. I can fall asleep within 10 minutes, and I think that's because I just got used to being able to sleep and listen to them. But at the same time, I'm so happy and grateful that I have all of the animals, because if my house was quiet and too quiet, I don't know, I've always had an animal. So I've always had cats, I've always had dogs, and because I used to have Melody, Melody was my animal that when I moved out, she became like a service animal. So my cat, Melody, she was like I said, she became a service animal probably about when I was, I want to say, probably around the age of like 14, 15 is when I started to take on her as my own. And basically like around that age was when she started like helping me go through like my anxiety and my depression and all of that. And then when I put her to sleep, I couldn't even stay in the house, like, because I was also under a lot of stress with the people upstairs, and like a lot of shit just was going on, which made it hard to live in the house without an animal. And then I got hamsters when I returned, so I came home and I got a hamster, and my hamster Oreo she passed away, but she was so good, so quiet, and she like kept me company. And then I got Teddy, who I still have to this day and is now 3 years old. Then I got Hazel, who had babies and passed away. But so my girls were older than my boys, which is why they passed away earlier. Then Hazel also had an infection, and Oreo ended up, I don't know what happened to her, but maybe she had an infection as well, and it wasn't just like noticeable. Like Hazel's was noticeable. She had like pus and everything coming out of her nose, and like I kind of knew that it was her time. But my boys are healthy. Mellow's on his wheel, Teddy's on his wheel. They're healthy, they're happy. So yeah, so I don't know, I can't really estimate when they're gonna pass away, but I'll keep them. If they last 10 years, I'll keep them for 10 years. Like, I love hamsters, I love animals, in general, and my boys are doing so good for the age that they are. But anyways, I'm gonna end the video here, and so I did clean the kitchen, and I cleaned the cages, and I feel like that was a lot. Even though it wasn't much, it was still enough to, I also did a long route today, so I worked 3 hours in the morning and then 3 hours in the evening, and I finished at like 5:30, so I was able to take a nap from like 6 o'clock to 7:30. I got up at 7:30, just hung out till 8, and then 8 o'clock I started cleaning my kitchen. Then I came back and I cleaned my hamster cages, and tomorrow I'll do the guinea pig cage and some laundry, and then the rest of my dishes, more or less. Yeah, and just try to, get this place back to good standings, because when I was sick, I never really cleaned or did anything. I just, left it as is. So it's time. I'm feeling better. It's time to start cleaning and getting this place back to normal. So I'll end the video here, and I promise I'm not going to be doing these kind of bed talk times. I don't know what to call it, but try not to keep filming it from my bed, but it's an update, and yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.